All right, shalom. Shalom. We're going to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. I want to say and give double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. Salutations to the elect, Lord willing, with some of those men and women who believe in fear. In the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Hey, I'm my brother, Gabar Yahweh, from GMS Hawaii, coming to you with another lesson. And I'll make this short and to the point. We're going to speak about the mark of the beast, the Motb, right? Which is coming, right? It's already here in certain phases, right? But it's definitely going to be something that's going to be pushed onto the world, all right? And so I went to ChatGPT and I typed in a question because, you know, as it's been of this week, you know, Nate's hypocrisy, Nate being Bishop Nathaniel Israel from the IUIC, Israelites United in Christ, they his hypocrisy regarding the Motb is popping up, right? We watched this man change from one thing to the next, you know, and he still hasn't came to the point. And the question is, why is he lying about it? Well, we understand that he had to take a bag or a bribe, right? The scripture says what? Oppression maketh wise men mad, but a gift destroyeth the heart, right? And so he doesn't, he has to stay away from what the Motb truly is, because that's not a part of what they directed him to say. Like Elder Rakalia Plum spoke about, you know, the digital currencies, stuff like that, the digital ID, right? That's okay for them to talk about. But then they'll say, well, Deacon Malachi, he said that, what did he say? He said that the Motb is well, he did say sin, and then he said it was the image of the white Christ, right? You know, basically, you got to worship that image, which the whole world is already doing that, right? The world, sin is already pervasive all in the world, right? Sin is polluted this place. So nobody's going to have to make you get down to sin because you're already doing it, right? So there's another one where Bishop Nathaniel says that the Motb is an embargo. He says, you talk about trade. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that real quick. I found this, but I got the other one on my phone, so I'm going to let this play. This is from the early days of IUIC, and I wanna bring this out before I bring this out, right? Let me play this. You can't see it; it's on my phone. But just listen. Hopefully, you can listen and hear what he said, because he changes it a lot.
It's too long because it's stupid, and we've discussed it before. Just humor me, you brothers with simple. Start at verse 11. Revelation 18 and 11, please.
Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
So it's talking about buying and selling. When you read Revelation 13, it says if you don't got the chip, and the word chip ain't in there, thank you. It says if you don't have the mark or the name of the beast, you cannot buy or sell. This is what Revelation 18 is talking about. Now let's see what it's talking about, buying and selling. Read down.
The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all fine wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men.
And slaves and slaves and slaves. You would be buying and selling slaves. That's not talking about you Negroes in the ghetto. That ain't you are the slaves. We are the slaves. But you got these idiots, I'm going to call them what they are. These monthly prognosticators talking about if you don't got the chip, you can't buy or sell. Buy or sell what? Snickers bar. This ain't talking about a Snickers bar. This ain't talking about Converse and Nikes. This is talking about big business here.
Where's the Negro's big business to sell anything?
Right. Read verse 15, please.
Verse 15. The merchants of these things, which were made rich
Which were made what?
Which were made rich.
So when you're buying and selling, it's talking about being made rich. That ain't the Negro in the ghetto. You ain't buying or selling nothing to become rich. Stop letting these knuckleheads fool you.
And that no man might buy or sell.
Give me another word for buy or sell. I want one word that discusses, that uses, that expresses buy or sell. Steve. Trade. There no man can trade. Except what?
And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark.
So now stop. You might say, wait a minute. Is that really what this is talking about? Trade. Buying and selling. Trade. Yes. Give me a precept. Ezekiel 28. Verse 4 and 5. You need some words. These words are going to help you. You don't got to go to the Greek or Latin to come up with a computer chip. You crazy? Ezekiel 28, verse 4 and 5.
Come on, 28, verse 4. With thy wisdom and with thy understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches.
Yeah, thou hast gotten thee riches. Read.
And hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures.
Go ahead.
By thy great wisdom.
By thy great wisdom.
And by thy traffic.
And by thy traffic. Can we look up that word traffic?
I think this is the one you want. The transportation of goods for the purpose of trade
That's
by
it.
sea, land, or air.
Y'all see that? Read that bottom, that one again, Joshua, again.
The transportation of goods for the purpose of trade by sea, land, or air.
Now the term the Bible uses for trade is what?
Traffic.
Traffic. What else in Revelation?
Buy and sell.
Buy and sell. Buy and sell. That's what traffic is making reference to in Ezekiel 28. Yes.
In the documentary we referenced before in the movie Even the Rain.
Yeah.
As young boy,
America today.
well, the number of his name.
And as we read down, it's 666. That's the number that represents them. So this is talking about embargoes. This is not talking about...
That's what I wanted. So he said it was talking about embargoes. Absolutely not. ChatGPT even got it right. Right? So here it is. This is in the book of Revelation. I typed this in ChatGPT. In the book of Revelation chapter 13, it says, no man shall buy or sell except he had the mark. Is that speaking about individuals or nations? And it says, great question. Revelation 13:17 says that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And it says this passage is primarily speaking about individuals. The Greek word used for man here is anthropos, right? Which the apostles and bishop elders brought this out many, many times. But even ChatGPT knows that the buying and selling is talking about what? Individuals, right? But this guy, Nate, said you don't got to go to the Greek to come up with a microchip. That's what he said. Now, this video that you would listen to on my phone, it was this is an older video, right? I don't have it on the YouTube, so that's why I didn't pull it up. But then even now, he's switching it up. Now he's saying that the Motb is sin, right? And the scriptures tell you about what? Meddle not with him, right? That is given to change, right? Proverbs 20 and 24 and 21. My son, fear thou the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change, man. Right? Because the Most High and his son, Yahweh Shema Shai, don't change. His word doesn't change, right? It is what it is. It says what it is. And so going back here, it says the passage is primarily speaking about individuals. The Greek word used for man here is anthropos, which typically refers to a human being or individual person. So in its most direct sense, it suggests that people, not nations or governments, are the ones being restricted from buying and selling unless they have the mark of the beast, right? And this is what it's talking about. Now I didn't read the rest of this. It says that said in broader interpretation, especially in prophetic or symbolic readings, some theologians and scholars do explore the possibility that this kind of control could also extend through systems that involve nations, governments, or economies that enforce or participate in the requirements, right? And that's what you're having right now. These different nations, they're going to force that on them. They're all coming up with digital currencies. I looked this up about the digital crap. I got logged out. Salakia. So I looked this up. Are European countries creating digital currencies? Yes, several European countries and the European Central Bank, ECB, itself are actively exploring developing digital currencies, often referred to as central bank digital currencies or CBDCs. Here's a quick overview. The digital euro. The European Central Bank is leading the development of a digital euro, which will be a digital version of the euro, issued and backed by the ECB. As of early 2025, it is in a preparation phase. So it's not just America. It's not just the European nations either. You got other nations like the BRICS. They're coming up with a digital currency. You got China, digital yuan. You got Jamaica, Caribbean, other Caribbean countries, South American countries. They're all getting on board with this. So that lines right up with this. It says right here, some theologians and scholars do explore the possibility that this kind of control could also extend through systems that involve nations, governments, or economies that enforce or participate in this requirement. What is the requirement? That all men have to have this chip. And that's why have this mark. What is the chip? Because that is called the charagma, right? The charax, right? So when you look up Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth, man. Right? So that word for world there, right, is oikomene. This is the whole entire earth. Right? This is everybody that's here going to have to face this question whether to take the chip or not. Right? And so going back into Revelation, I'm going back into what ChatGPT says about Revelation 13 and 17, again, it's focusing on people, individuals, right? And it says, so while the verse targets, it says, let me keep reading. It says, they do explore the possibility that this kind of control could also extend through systems that involve nations, governments, or economies that enforce or participate in this requirement. So while the verse targets individuals, the mechanism of enforcement might involve larger systems or powers. Right, and that's because of the beast system. That's what it is. It's the beast system, right? Which all these Edomite nations and outside of these Edomite nations, they're going to participate in. All right? And so they're going to force their citizens or their people of their countries to do the same thing. And all of this is set up by the ruling elite, the banking families, right? It says, depending on how one interprets prophecy, literal, symbolic, historical, or futurist, right? And it is literal, right? It is literal. So what Nate was speaking about, he said it was an embargo years ago, and now this dude saying it's sin.
And thou markest me. That goes back to 2 Thessalonians 2. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, and for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they shall believe a lie, that they all might be damned. That's what this is saying. Read again, Yuri. If I sin, then thou markest me.
And so now they just dragging straws. They grabbing at straws. If you see the word mark in the scriptures, they trying to apply that same thing to Revelation 13:16 on down. Revelation 14:9 on down. And that's not it. The mark of the beast is the Motb microchip. Right? The mark of the beast is the microchip. Right? That's going to be connected to your identity. It's going to be connected to how you purchase and buy things. It's the reason why the world is being pushed into contactless payment. Everybody used to contactless payment. So now the next phase, the ultimate phase, is what? Putting it in your body. So now you truly belong to the banking families.
Acquit me from mine iniquity. Let me show you the mark of God. Yeah, yes, that's part of the image of the beast.
No, this is not. Christianity is not a part of the image of the beast, right? The super elite don't give a damn about Christianity, Islam, Judaism. They're not into that. They want something that can. This is already controlling people's minds. You know, billions of people follow Christianity. This guy, the Pope, just dropped dead a couple of days ago, and billions of people are following this man. Coughing up and down the street. millions of people watching it on TV, going down there to check it out. Those people are already moved by this so-called spirit of Christianity. This ain't it. This. You're not going to use Christianity or sin to buy and sell, but this guy got to keep changing it because he knows, well, it's anything. Whenever you lie, you got to keep lying. He ain't going to tell the truth.
Only going to escalate. Right now, they ain't killing people for that. But in time, behind Trump, you got the evangelicals. You got to watch these Christians and Jews behind Trump. They're going to make this whole thing a whole religious thing. Watch. Now, it might not be Trump. Maybe something might. I'm not saying I want anything to happen to him. Not yet. But you'll never know. Might be Vance, whoever comes next.
Yeah, so this dude's off. Right? And he's not well versed in the scriptures. And if he is, he's purposely lying and defrauding and misleading people. Right? Because, listen, I know people are like, oh, you want the chat GPT, that can tell you anything. Listen, bro, this is AI, right? They have to say what it calculates. It goes through the internet, it goes through these books, and including the Bible, and it brings out these excerpts, and it brings out certain words. This is the reason why the apostles and the bishop elders teach us about knowing words, right? Whether it be Greek, Latin, whether it be Hebrew, right? Those are primary languages that people focus on when it comes to the precepts, right? English, Greek, Latin, right? Hebrew, okay? And it pulled out the word anthropos, right? This is not speaking about nations. It's not speaking about using white Christianity. Why the fuck would they use? They already got the people's minds warped with Christianity and all these other world religions. They outuse Christianity. Christianity serves the so-called white man or his power structure. It doesn't serve them anymore, right? It's outlived its usefulness, okay? What they want is complete control over the people, right? And no one, you're not going to go to the store and be refused to buy and sell if you don't have Christianity, or if you don't believe in Christianity, or if you I'm sinning. They're not going to go to the register and say, oh, hey man, how much sin do you got today? Because that's what we taking for purchases of goods. No, that mark, that Motb right there is what? Charagma, right? Let me ask them this. Right? I meant to say 17, but I don't need the word. I don't need chat GBT to tell me this, because I understand through the word and the teachings of the apostles and the bishop elders. So through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashar Shai, but I'm just bringing it out here just to make you see, right? So it says right here, absolutely. Let's take a close look at the word mark in Revelation 17, 13 and 17, which says no man could buy or sell unless he had the mark, that is the name or the name of the beast or the number of his name. That word for mark there is what? The word is translated as what? Charagma, meaning a stamp or an engraving, an impression, or a brand, used in ancient times to refer to the branding of slaves. And that's what they want. Instead of giving you a firebrand on your body, they're going to give you that chip. And you're going to be marked as their slaves, right? Or a mark of ownership and we're not to be owned by any nation. We're owned by Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, the elect are, right? The 2/3 who don't want to believe this truth, they're going to perish. And they're going to die with this man and his system. But we don't belong to Esau, right? So people don't ask the question, well, who's going to be the owners? Who the ones that are issuing this mark, who are you going to be owned by? Them banking families, man. This is a mark of ownership or official seal. It could also refer to as an emperor's image on coins, which is not about the emperor's image on coins, right? That word, can you go to... Right? So I asked you to go to the root word on charagma. The root word there, what? Is karaso, all right? It says what? Meaning to sharpen, engraven, to etch, to cut something. So you have to In order to get this thing, you got to cut the skin and put it in there, like an engraving into a stone or metal or wood. It implies intentionally or preeminence, not something superficial or accidental, right? So it says what? So what if we trace this? It says karaso, to engrave, to etch out, to cut. Karagma, that which is engraved and printed, a mark or stamp. This emphasizes that the mark in Revelation 13:17 isn't just a casual sticker or label. It's something deliberate, not accidental, deeply identifying, like a brand ownership, possibly painful or invasive. And that's what this is, right? You look at the image of a microchip, microchip implant in hand surgery, right? Because it's still considered a surgery, right? It's this right here, this little thing right here. You have to put it in an incision, and this shit gonna hurt, right? This shit ain't no joke, you know what I mean? And you can't just pull it out, right? This is a great image right here, right? You have to cut, engrave, and cause pain to go in there, right? And the Lord didn't create us to have no fucking chip implanted in us to be owned by Esau, because that's what it is. Going back to Esau trying to control the whole world. He wants to be the Most High. So, this is where it's going to. It says what? It says emphasize. It says possibly painful or invasive. This is invasive, man. Right? This is something that invading your body with a foreign object. All right. And this is, and they got the brain chip. That's invasive. That's painful. Are you ready? Are you ready for a medical RFID implant? Right? And they've been talking about this. They wanted this to happen in 2017, but it didn't happen yet. But now they got all the infrastructure, the economic, financial infrastructure set behind it, and they want to make sure when they roll this out that it's going to be controlled and something's going to happen to where this thing is going to be rolled out, and there's going to be, they're going to make this thing the hero of the economic disaster that's about to affect the whole world, right? So this is exactly what we're talking about. So what the hell is Nate talking about? It says, in the ancient world, this kind of word was often used for branding slaves or soldiers to show who they belong to, right? To show who they belong to, and who you are going to belong to in a new world is the super elite banking families. I'll play this.
Right. So right there, you have two major planks in the Communist Manifesto that have been brought in because of the Federal Reserve System. Okay. So the ultimate goal that these people have in mind is the goal to create a one world government run by the banking industry, run by the bankers, and they're doing it in sections. The European currency, the euro, and the European Constitution is one part of it. Now they're trying to do it in America with the North American Union, right? And they want to create a new currency called the Amero, right? And the whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control.
And that's it. It's all about control. These people want to control you. And it's evident. And like I said, if ChatGPT could get it, what the hell is up with Nate? ChatGPT got the mark of the beast correct. This is what we're telling you. Right? But you got guys like this who constantly change, who constantly float and gloss and say it's everything else but what it is, because they used to giving you Negroes misinformation. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you're the last to know anything that is really happening in this society and how it affects you. Right? You don't understand that this is ultimately it's the judgment of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. Right? Because the Lord don't want all Israel. right? This guy is going around gathering the whole Israel united in Christ. The Lord ain't uniting Israel and nobody named Christ. The Lord is bringing the elect in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, right? And they're going to receive the truth. We have received the truth. Lord, we're only part of the elect, all right? So anybody that's outside of that, you're just done. If you fall for this guy's scheme, you're just done. And most Jake don't look things up. Oh, it's boring. Oh, you ain't talking about the woman. You ain't got no pictures of a fat ass. You ain't talking about getting money. All this other weirdo shit. But the things that are going to affect you, you don't want to hear those things. And then you'll blame it on just one individual. Oh, this is Trump's fault. Trump is just a puppet for the banking ruling elite families. You don't see them. Right? You know about some of them, the Rothschilds, the Oppenheimers, the Rockefellers, but you don't even see them. It's like them people don't even exist. It's like they're a myth. The news don't report on these people. They don't do interviews, right? They don't talk to you about what's going on, but there's some that bring out this information, right? There's some that bring out this information and it lines up with what we've been saying. Yahweh Bashim Shai put the spirit on the apostles and bishop elders to do all his research before the advent of ChatGPT, before Alex Jones changed his name from that comedian's name. I forget his name, like Bill something, right? It was already in the works, right? So yeah, bro, I just want to bring this up because it's evident. It's evident and it's the truth, man. And if you can't accept the truth, then it ain't for you. That's it. I just pray that Yahweh Bashim Shai keep myself and my household and all my brothers in his faith and my spiritual fathers in his faith to away from this shit. And he will. Because we telling you not to do it. There's a great judgment that's going to come behind you if you take this shit, bro. Right? Thinking you're going to save your life and end up you going to lose it in the most egregious and painful way. Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into a cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, because that's what's coming, them nuclear missiles, in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, right? In the smoke of their torment, because America's going to be on fire. That smoke where them people that took this chip, of our nation that took the chip, right? They're going to die here in America, right? And that smoke is going to go up forever, which is a long time, forever and ever. And they have no rest day or nor night who worship the beast in his image and whosoever received the mark of his name, right? So you're going to be done out here, man. Right? And it says the smoke of their torment will rise forever and ever, and they will have no relief day or night, for they have worshipped the beast and his statue and have accepted the mark of his name, man. And that mark of the name is not Jesus Christ, man. It ain't sin. It ain't sin in all its forms. It's not an embargo, right? Right? And it tells you this right here. It's not talking about nations or governments. It's talking about people, individuals. All right? So with that, we'll say shalom and on to the next.